What is going on? Welcome to Muscle Rod Shop. This video is sponsored by Omaze. More about them coming up soon. I'm gonna show you what we have right now. It's really, really cool. And I haven't put a video up in a while, I apologize. This is the new wheel well that just got put in. So I decided to go ahead and build this one really quick. Oh, I say really quick, but in reality it's probably 2 8-hour days. I don't know. That is where we're sitting. It's really cool though. I mean, this whole thing just pops inside of here with a few bolts. You can see one, there's 2, 3, 4, and one way back in there. So this whole panel plus the front, which that little bulge right there, that is for the headlight. And on the back of the headlights, there's a little fan, and I didn't want to, like, you know, suffocate that thing. But either way, this whole thing unbolts out of here. You got to take this one off first. See, there's one bolt right here, and then 5 bolts up the front. Then this panel pops off, and you can get to the wires and all the other stuff. That's from inside the engine compartment. That's how it looks. Back in this little pocket right in there is where all the wires come out. So I didn't want to like cover all that up. But point is, the reason why I'm actually filming this part is because I haven't done the other side. And the other side is where the big problem is. That problem being an 80mm turbo right there. So all of this exhaust that comes down, this side's gonna be totally different than the other side was. Because the other side was just basically flat, and I could go all the way back to the firewall, then come over this way, and no problem. But this side's not gonna be too easy. We don't wanna be sitting too close to this. We want to be out here. And now that's the little fan I was telling you about on the back of the headlights. These are Dapper lighting. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how these panels are made. Now they're fairly simple. So for those of you out there who are metal fabricators, you would know that a panel like this is pretty simple to do. But for most people, it's not. Luckily, I've already made this side, so I already have all the measurements and all the templates and the hours and hours and hours it takes to go and make templates and measuring and all that kind of stuff, and even getting little cuts like this out and finding out where the shock is, even though that didn't end up exactly centered, and it kind of pisses me off. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm showing you, this is the template, the metal that I've already gotten laid out. There's 3 panels. There's one in the front, that one in the back right there, and then a huge one on the side. That one is this giant outline here. That's how big it is. I mean, it's just a big panel. This little panel here is the back. For example, okay, right down here, this point is that bottom point right there. And then the beads and everything is just to make it very, very sturdy, because there's not too many bolts that hold this thing on. Now this piece here, how it looks after it's all bead rolled and it's got holes drilled in it everywhere and everything's good to go, starts out like that. As flat as can be. Now y'all have probably seen us make panels before, but well, we're gonna do it again. Guys, before we go any further with this video and the CUDA, I wanna take a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's video, Omaze. Omaze gives away one-of-a-kind prizes and experiences while supporting charities all across the world. Their sustainable approach to fundraising means that nonprofits can spend less time and money raising funds, and instead focus on serving the needs of their communities. You can enter for your chance to win a BMW M5 CS. So take a look at this thing. Carve the racetrack, canyon, or carpool lane in BMW's most powerful production car ever. With only 2,000 models being built, you'll be the envy of everyone else on the road with a super stylish, super limited edition BMW. BMW M5 CS has upped the ante with its super sedan. This thing is the epitome of luxury and performance with a 0 to 60 time in 2.9 seconds. Merino leather and Alcantara upholstery. 627 horsepower, carbon fiber and gold bronze axles. This BMW M5 CS is more focused, quicker, lighter, and has more capabilities than any other M5 before it. It is the definition of a dream car for those of you who like new cars. cars. Under the hood is a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 engine with an 8-speed automatic behind it. This particular car holds a frozen Brands hatch gray, an interior black with Mugello red stitching. On this car, you're looking at the gold bronze 20-inch M wheels, kidney grills, CS badging, M carbon ceramic brakes with red calipers, with a carbon fiber roof, hood, and racing-inspired seats and interior trim. Yellow icon adaptive headlights, 12.3 infotainment screen, 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, I want one of those, and much more. So where's the first place that you would take this car on a test drive if you want? So what's the charity, you ask? The charity is the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project. Yeah, it really is. It's a good cause. Fiscally sponsored by Entertainment Industry Foundation, has a mission to advance and invest in health, education, safety, and community support of young people living in South Africa to create a more equitable future for all. So this project supports community-engaged organizations that provide critical resources like access to youth-friendly healthcare, sexual and reproductive health education, life skills, and the best part, psychological support.
What'd he say?
All of which empower young people to keep themselves and their peers healthy and safe. So, if you're interested and you want a chance to win the BMW M5 CS and support the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project, go to omaze.com/musclerodshop to enter. And you can make it your reality by entering for your chance to win today. Thanks to Omaze for sponsoring this episode of Muscle Rod Shop. Now let's get back at it. And while we're at it, we'll just go ahead and focus on this really quick. The size of that motor looks beautiful. Kind of dirty. But what we're doing in this car is we are putting a 6-pack scoop on it, and a really big one, because if you notice, that thing sticks way out of the hood. It's huge intake. Yeah. It's gonna be cool. Painted red, 6-pack scoop. Good stuff. So sit back and enjoy, because it's probably gonna be a long one. replenishing hammer. It's got the little dies on the bottom. And this one's got a die that is very, very curved, so I can get most of that out. So all these lines on here are obviously the bead roller, and it's gonna make our steps and do all the things we need. But these are brakes. So this piece right here is how it is gonna bolt to the fender. For example, up in the top, you see where the bolts come through. That is that brake all the way across, and those are little bolts coming through. You can see it on the inside here. It just folds over, and we're able to put bolts in it and attach it. So this panel right here is how this other one is gonna look here in just a minute. And then the other brake is so that that panel, the one we just made, that's sitting over on the table, is going to weld to it. So that's another brake, and there's another brake underneath here to keep this sturdy, and a brake there, and a brake on the back so that this panel can bolt on. Because we want this to unbolt and all this to stay. All right, so as you can see by the exactness of this drawing here, that's where the turbo goes. I'm gonna have to cut out that much of this panel. So before I do, I'm gonna run you through the process of what I gotta do to this thing and why it looks like this without any beads. So first of all, you make the panel, then we're gonna stick it up inside the wheel well, which we already did. Find out more or less where the turbo sits, then come back and take measurements from this edge here all the way back to a bunch of different points. This right here is where the center of the exhaust, which is that fat chrome pipe right there. The center of that is going to sit right here. And it's gonna dive back into the engine compartment right about here or so. So I want plenty of room around it. Turbo sits here, while the exhaust going up is right here, the stack. Okay, that's a stack. So we're gonna cut that out, put this back up in there. If it fits just right, I got plenty of room all the way around. I'm gonna build a bucket that goes around it. But then I can go and reroute all of my beads and figure it out. This side has not turned out to be fun. What?
So I think my vagina's gonna hurt Monday.
Oh God, now I gotta
Your
bleep.
wop?
Your wop.
My wop is wop.
Okay, so this is looking really complicated right now, but because I kind of messed up here. Bead, another bead around the turbo, but this gives me a spot, a flange to go and bolt on the cap that's gonna go on here. That's probably gonna take me about 30 days to make. So I'm gonna go ahead and bead roll this. Let's get at it. Mason?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It is Mason's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right, now on to this piece. This piece is gonna be really, really, really fun because we have a giant chunk missing out of this, so now it takes two people. Are you ready? All right.
When you are, sir.
It's gonna come back around to me. You can let it go. Just sit. And then it's gonna come back around to you. Go all the way out to you. Today's Mason's birthday.
I brought you a
Happy
dirt and
birthday.
worms cupcake.
That is the sweetest thing.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Happy birthday, Mason. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put these rib nuts in here. Rib nuts, if you haven't seen me put them in before, I don't know if I put them on this channel, but either way, this is what they look like. Okay, they're threaded on the inside. What these do is you drill a hole this size, right, the size of the rib nut, and just slide it in there. And then we're gonna use a tool that crimps the whole entire thing, it squishes it. And so that way, you don't have to put a nut and a bolt and try to get on the back side with a bolt and the front side with a nut and vice versa, whatever. You can just shoot a bolt straight in and it's all good to go. Now this is what we're using. This is all 1/4 inch right here. And this basically threads in there like that. So in order to get this squished down, we're gonna use this tool. And basically what this does, see, we're gonna put this on here first, thread it all the way down, make sure this is wide open. Everything's tight and good to go. Now, I'm gonna put it in the hole here. Squeeze this. And what that's doing is it's pulling back on this thread cert here. And again, and then we're gonna tighten it up. And again, and keep on going until basically it just doesn't go anymore. Now if it's too loose and you don't do it enough, your bolt will spin. It might go in, but it won't come back out. This thing will just spin in there and you'll never get your bolt out. So now we got a bolt. And then this is, you know, this is gonna go on a panel. So I got a panel here with a hole in it. And now I can bolt these two panels together. So I'll show you how it works from the back side. And it works a lot better if this panel is solid to something. This is kind of hard to do right here, but make sure that's back. So you can see as I'm going, it's squeezing, making it more and more tight. And that's about as far as it's gonna go right there. And gonna unscrew it back all the way out. And then this thing is done, it's good to go. And see, now our bolt can thread in. And it's all done. So you can see just how much it squeezes it down. That's how thread certs work. They're really cool. You can see the whole back side of this has the thread certs all the way down. And that's about how we're looking right now. Looks really good. So these things ended up coming out pretty dang good. I like the 3M undercoat. That stuff works really good. It's the same thing that was on the bumper. And yeah, I've already used it before, but on panels it's really nice. The stuff's very sturdy too. Look at that Apache. Oh, the truck's bad. So back side of the panels, engine compartment side is same thing. It's a hardened base coat, so it's got a catalyst in it, so it'll harden up and be good. Now this section where the turbo goes, I'm gonna have to make a cap at some point for that, but I don't have time for it now. But at least all the headlight portion of everything is taken care of, and we don't have to worry about getting mud all over that stuff, the little fan on the headlight, but you know, yeah, pretty good. So I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like when it's completely installed, and then I think that's gonna be the end of this video, I think. So I'll install it, show you, last part of the video. There's only a couple things I have left on this car, and that is gonna put a receiver on it for sure, and the dash, putting the dash in, and then it's time for startup. And so it goes away. But how to get these done. So let me show you what this thing looks like all installed. Thanks to Omaze for sponsoring this episode of Muscle Rod Shop. Go to www.omaze.com/muscle rod shop to learn more.